Schneider's Bayrisch Hell.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. Today I've got one here from the Schneider Bayrisch Brewery, although it's not listed as Schneider Bayrisch. This is the Georg, Schneider and Sohn, which is basically the same people, and this is their Bayrisch Hell. Now, if you're aware of the Schneider Bayrisch range, you'll know that all the beer there is based on wheat beer. So they do your average Weiss beer, some variations on Weiss beer. They do Weizenbock, etc. It's a complete wheat beer range. However, this is a bit of a deviation. This is a Helles, and I'm not sure what's going on with that, because it says they're established in 1928 if you look at the top. And can you see that on the top? When autofocus starts doing what it's supposed to. It's a beer they've decided to brew because, understandably, it probably wouldn't fit in the Weiss beer range. If it was made by Schneider Bayrisch, then obviously this isn't a wheat beer, so I can see why they've done it. But they've put special emphasis on local ingredients. Now, what this is described as is a Bayrisch Hell, but if you look at what they've done, where they've sourced the ingredients from, it's a mix between a Helles, an Urtip and a land beer. Now, what are them beers? Well, Helles obviously is a very light lager type of beer, bottom fermented beer. Land beer is a bit of a generic term. It's a beer that's popular in the region of the brewery, and it could encompass quite a lot of different styles. So land beer is a bit of a generic term. It's not a particular style. It's more of a genre of beer, if that makes sense. It's basically the locally preferred style of beer made using local ingredients. And Urtip is the unfiltered, unpasteurised version of that beer that the brewery do. So that's a combination of all three. Now, the ingredients are quite interesting in this, and I was going to discuss it in the next section, but I'll do it here. The hops that are in this come from the Hallertau region. If you're not aware of the Hallertau region, it's the biggest hop producing region in Germany, possibly in the world, maybe with the exception of some of the American hop growing fields. Certainly in Europe, it's the biggest hop growing region. And if you've ever get a chance to go, or ever get a chance to even watch a documentary, you will see how seriously they take the growing of hops and how vast this area is. I mean, it really is amazing. I mean, you think you've got big hop fields in Hereford, Worcestershire and down here in Kent, but it's nothing compared to what they've got there. It's absolutely amazing, it really is. And the malt that they've used in this comes from a region called Graubünden, which is in Lower Bavaria, which is where this comes from as well. This is from a region in Bavaria called Kelmheim, and that's where the Georg Schneider Brewery is. I'm not sure if this is actually on the premises of the Weiss Beer Brewery, but it's not too far. It's in Kelmheim, and that's all you really need to know. I'm just looking on this. I don't know why it's got since 1928. A family recipe since 1928. Yeah, that's fair enough, because the Schneider Bayrisch Brewery have been going since 1872. If you want to see how good their beers are, just check out some of the reviews on my channel. I really do think it's the best Weiss beer in Germany. There is a possible contender for that title, and that's the Weihenstephaner Weiss beer, which is really good as well. And that's, you know, obviously arguably the oldest brewery in the world. But Schneider Weiss certainly do give them a run for their money. Really worth checking their stuff out. I don't think I've had a bad one from them. Well, there you go. Anyway, enough of my waffling. Let's get this investigated. This is a 500ml bottle. It's 4.9%. I'm just looking at the front of it. Local ingredients from the Bavarian, Gauberden and Hallertau. Yeah, Gauberden is where the malt comes from. Hallertau obviously is hops. Nothing else grows there apart from hops. It's that big and vast. Yeah, since 1928. There is the EU Geographical Protected States. I should look up what there's a terminology for that. That's only awarded to certain products that are from a certain region, and it means that nobody can from another region can pass their stuff off as coming from that. For example, champagne can only come from the Champagne region, which is understandable. You know, that's one of the better rules that the EU came up with, and it just safeguards the product, if you know what I mean. So on the back of this we've got Schneider's Bayrisch Hell, a pristine characteristic and pure, is pristine and characteristic, as pure as its homeland, southern Bavaria, brewed with 100% Bavarian ingredients and handcrafted in the traditional method by the 6th generation of the Schneider brewers family. Yeah, they've, as I say, they've been going since the 1800s, so that's the 6th generation. Its straw colour is as impressive and balanced as and refreshing and highly drinkable aroma with a subtle malty body and flowery hop aromas, a Helles as it should be, or a real Schneider. Cheers. Brewed according to the Bavarian purity laws 15 and 16. Doesn't mean a thing. Don't read too much into that. And there you go. The IBUs on this are 18, which is really sweet. That is very low, even by lager standards. And that's the sort of IBU I would expect to see on a Weiss beer, which is quite sweet. So this is going to be interesting. So let's shut up and let's get it down the hatch. Right, I've got Percy down here. He thinks it's dinner time. It will be in a minute, just not yet, mate. All right, so calm down. I've had a few requests off people. They want to see more of Percy. So, Percy, come up here, mate. Percy, get up. Well, you're on YouTube. Come on. Come. Fucking hell. Can't get you up otherwise. Come on, mister. Oh, he's rolled over now. He's not having it. He's not having it, the little git. You'll soon sit there and fart though, wouldn't you? And fucking slowly gas me to death. Wouldn't you? Oh, here he is. He's decided to come up. You're a heavy little git, you are. You know that. There you go. Get out of it. So what's occurring, Percy? Hey? That, really? You've been farting lately? You little fart ass. You're a little shit beast. He is. What do you think of that, Percy? What aromas are you getting? Get out of it, you. He wouldn't know. He's a little fucker. No wonder you've been farting. You've been at my beer, mate. Hey? 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 Right. There you go. I'll get you breakfast in a minute, mate. All right. Breakfast. Fucking ain't breakfast. Not drinking that early. Right, let's get it into ye olde glass. Yeah, all right, Percy. Calm down, mate. Well, wow. The aromas from that. Now that is really sweet. Really sweet. It's like a honey sweetness. And there is some of the hop character coming through there as well. The head on that is massive. I really should have put it into my Helles glass, but that's in the dishwasher at the moment, unfortunately. So I'll put it in this one. Oh, it's really nice. Very herbal, grassy, herbal, light type aroma. And there's very, very sweet honey that's coming from that as well. And it's really nice. It does smell good. Nice and clean aromas. Interesting. Let's get it down the hatch. Zum Wohl, as they say in Germany. That is nice. That noise is Percy down there, just in case you were wondering. Oh, that is nice. Lots and lots of hop character on that. And for a Helles, that is really nice. I'm just going to get the rest of it in there. Now this is cold, it's coming out of the fridge. So it's really refreshing. The mouthfeel is really light as well. Look at that carbonation. That translates to the mouthfeel. It's really smooth. Let's have another go. Really good. You can really taste them hops coming through there. It's really nice. It's like a, how would I describe it? It's almost like there's a lemon citrus on there, definitely, but there's more of the grassy, fresh cut grass. That's what I'd class it as. And there is some sweet malt on there as well underneath, and it is quite sweet. There's no bitterness, no discernible bitterness on there at all. It's very sweet and very good as well. Are you sure, Percy? That's really nice, and it's different. I will say that. Now they're saying that's been brewed to an old recipe, and I can see that that is definitely different to your average Paulaner, your Hacker-Shaw, even your Löwenbräu as well. Basically everything that's come from the big six from Munich. There's much more hop character in that one than there is from the ones I just mentioned, and from the Augustiner as well. It's really nice. But when I say hop character, of course, I do mean noble hop, German noble hops, not your American fruity style hop. And it's one of them beers that would just go down so easily on a summer's day. This is cold and it's very refreshing, very light, lovely mouthfeel, I have to say. And it's just a little bit different from your average German Helles, in as much as it's got a lot of the hop character on this. Percy, can you stop biting my leg? I'm trying to do a bloody beer review here. Oh, you idiot. He's just knocked a guitar over. Well done, Dick. And now he's licking my feet. Brilliant. Yeah, I love it. This is great. And it's slightly different. And it's different because it's got flavours that you just don't find on the Paulaner and on the Augustiner and on the Löwenbräu as well. And they're for me are the top of the tree when it comes to Helles. This is different and it tastes good and it's got a character all of its own, which is really nice. And I'm going to put this down before I just killed a lot of it because it is so drinkable. That is fantastic. It really is a good one from Georg Schneider. But what would you expect from one of the best wheat beer brewers in the world, or probably the best in the world? But yeah, that's fantastic. I really do like that. So what is the verdict on Schneider's Bayrisch Hell? Yeah, really nice. First time I saw this over here. I see it on Beers of Europe, and I did have it down on the list. And then when I went to York to the House of Trembling Madness, I picked it up there. It cost me £2.80, which is not too bad. That's reasonable. I wouldn't mind paying £2.80 for a beer like that. That is just really good. And again, I'm going to have the craft beer rant. If it's a toss-up between a £5 can of American hop-based IPAs or this stuff, well, this is just going to win all day long because it's easy drinking. It is flavoursome. It's 4.9%, so you could session this, and it's just beer done right. I love it. I'm going to give it a solid 9 out of 10. The reason it's not going to get a 10 out of 10 is, as nice as it is, and as character and as full of character that it is, I just think some of the other Helleses from Germany, such as the Löwenbräu, the Augustiner, definitely really good Helleses that I've tried over the years. The Hacker-Shaw, for starters, you know, stuff like that. Even the Spartan stuff as well. They're just a little cut above this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, Schneider do the best wheat beer. That, for me, is a given. With the possible exception of Weihenstephaner, it's really tough trying to choose between them two because they're so good. But I think with the lager, as good as it is, and I do mean it is good, I don't think it's quite up there with the Munich brewers. Still nice though, and it's still going to get a solid 9 out of 10. It's really nice, really full of the German Hallertau region hops, that nice malt that you get on there, and a nice lemon citrus backbone on it. It's just perfect. Really nice. So that is a solid 9 out of 10, recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.